Even as his beard grew longer and that, you'll just think he's more dedicated to his religion.
Really, it's a community in shock, to be honest with you. You never expect the person who's going to commit such an atrocity is going to actually be living amongst you.
The people who did it and they say the name of Islam, they don't know the meaning of Islam.
We feel a bit afraid because that is going to make everybody, especially the owner of the business and the people that live in the area, to be more careful because we don't really know exactly who are we talking to.
The general atmosphere here is cool. It's like we don't really have social class problems or anything like that because the majority of the Barking, it's ethnic minorities.
We ask people, 90% of people in this borough say we get on well together. There are no tensions between communities. That just doesn't happen.
We live in quite a tranquil situation as a community with all our fellow non-Muslim communities. You know, since this has happened, I've taken a number of phone calls from a number of non-Muslim colleagues from both the Christian and the Jewish faith. I was with some colleagues from the Sikh faith this morning. I was with the Bishop of Barking this morning, and some of the goodwill messages and the messages of support have come from our relationships with our non-Muslim friends, which really shows you the strength of the community spirit that we've got.
He was a really cool guy. He said hello to everyone, very polite, so we were extremely still shocked. However, towards the end, there were several complaints from the local kids around here saying that he was giving out his views. After the complaints were becoming a bit regular, they said they raised issues with the police.
As far as we know, he never attended this mosque. There's been no failure on the part of the Muslim community. The Muslim community have highlighted to the police on a number of occasions that this individual was of concern. The Muslim community has stood up and has provided the information to the authorities. The failure is elsewhere.
When I heard the news, they said they was under their suspicion, then they should stop this before these things happen.
The breakdown in the communication between communities coming forward with information and the police actually acting on it can happen in a number of different ways. One thing could be that the police have acted on it, they can't tell you. It can be that they're just so overwhelmed because they've had serious funding cuts over the last 7 years. And one place the cuts have fallen heavily is precisely on community engagement, community policing. In my opinion, it's actually the most effective part, and that's what would have prevented this situation potentially. Another place that people don't realise that this could have fallen apart, but between the police and other security services that they need to pass it on to, and they also have a role to play. The thing is that is secret. Police are not allowed to reveal that.
The Prevent strategy is a government legislation and a government strategy to tackle extremism. It's a strategy which over the last few years has become somewhat toxic in its brand, I believe because of the bad way in which it's been implemented and engaged. There's elements of the Prevent strategy which are very good, which prevent people getting onto the radicalisation.
What you get is a few people being radicalised in a few places, sometimes in the mosque, sometimes in education institutions. We have to challenge them in every place.
I don't think the problems are associated with the mosques. I think the individuals who have from time to time caused a really serious problem like Saturday night tend to be people outside the mosques or semi-detached from the mosques, and the mosques themselves are very full positive contributors to our local community.
The vast bulk of all people of all faith and no faith in our borough just want to get on with their lives. They want jobs, they want decent education for the kids, they want safe streets, and they want to get on with a decent life.
Now everybody feel terrible that this barking becomes so dangerous. So of course the community don't feel as well they're secure.
The crux of this whole issue of preventing terrorism at an early stage lies in that relationship between members of the public and the police. community members and the police, and if we get that right, that is like the one single most important thing that we could do.
Do you hope that we do still have like the same community feel with barbecues and parties? I still do like hope that it doesn't affect the community that much. Everyone still agrees to each other as usual. You know, we just have to carry on living our daily lives as normal, I guess.